Hello everyone and welcome back to the Essential Film Reviews collection from the Blackford Book Club with a film from this year 2023 called Inside, directed by Vasilis Katsoupis, that I can't recommend highly enough. The tagline that I've given the film is Willem Dafoe and a pyramid song to hell. I've long been an admirer of the acting prowess of Willem Dafoe, and not just because of his continuing alliance and collaboration with Wes Anderson in his offbeat comedies that often bemuse as well as delight in equal and enormous measure. Four-time Oscar nominee, the Wisconsin-born actor has honed his enigmatic acting style for over 4 decades now, with my first recollection being the Tony Scott-directed, David Bowie starring vampiric film The Hunger in 1983. Oliver Stone's first cinematic epic Platoon in 1986, Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ 30 years later, Alan Parker's Mississippi Burning, before re-teaming with Oliver Stone for another Vietnam-inspired Tom Cruise starring Vietnam War epic Born on the 4th of July, and all within the first decade of his acting career. The 1990s were a mix and match of Crybaby, Wild at Heart, Clear and Present Danger and The English Patient before he commenced a new century with the newly reinvigorated medium of superhero films in Spider-Man, before, ironically, as you're about to read, he was a huge part of another reinvented medium in animated films and particularly Finding Nemo. Then came his continuing collaboration with Wes Anderson before another radical departure into the Antichrist and nymphomaniac world of Lars von Trier, starring opposite Philip Seymour Hoffman in his second-to-last all-time cinema outing in A Most Wanted Man, before then joining the John Wick legend at the ground floor in Chapter 1 in 2014. That was almost a decade ago, and a near 10-year period that has seen Willem Dafoe excel once more in a superhero franchise, Aquaman, re-team again with Wes Anderson, The French Dispatch, work with directors such as Kenneth Branagh, Murder on the Orient Express, Paul Schrader, The Card Counter, Guillermo del Toro, Nightmare Alley, Robert Eggers, The Northman, and in 2019 starring opposite Robert Pattinson, he excelled in another Robert Eggers directed horrifying masterpiece, The Lighthouse, a particular favourite film of mine from recent years. So Inside, the second all-time feature-length release from director Vasilis Katsoupis, was an easy sell, to say the least. Nemo, Willem Dafoe. One of only 11 credited roles, of which only 3 are notable. This is Dafoe's film entirely, and he's entirely front and centre as he turns from gamekeeper to poacher, obsessional sketch artist to art thief, in a heist that goes horribly wrong, and he's left to his own devices locked inside an opulent high-rise apartment with seemingly no means of escape. From art is for keeps through to there is no creation without destruction, Nemo is abandoned and alone when the security of the apartment traps him inside an incredibly expensive exhibit to modern art as well as living art. With the air conditioning malfunctioning, next to zero long-term food in a refrigerator that plays the song Macarena if left open for more than 20 seconds, and no water or fluids except for a quickly exhausted bottle of vodka, he is forced to drink from and bathe in the indoor swimming pool as he tries every means of escape from a soundproof cage as the weeks slowly become months of isolation, dreams, nightmares, hunger, delirium and solitary madness. The telephone line isn't working, nor is the television. He doesn't have a mobile telephone, and the battery on his walkie-talkie has long since died. He is alone amongst the art that he once coveted, but which he now destroys in anger at a situation he cannot control and a world he cannot see through the vast windows of a cage that he cannot escape. Dafoe is magnificent, and considering the singular nature of the film, he simply has to be. Katsoupis' direction is stylish, often with his starring close up or from above as he prowls through the apartment seeking his escape. The film as a whole consists of 2 halves, the first a desperate attempt to escape, the second an allegory to life and death, heaven and hell, before brilliantly and very aptly Pyramid Song by Radiohead plays out across the film's closing credits, with stories of black-eyed angels, a moon full of stars and astral cars, past and futures, and journeying to heaven in a little rowboat. Highly recommended. As you could imagine, with Radiohead playing over the end credits, I couldn't possibly recommend this film highly enough, and it is a stunning film. It's also very much a love it or hate it film, which of course I loved it. But I leave it to you, and I highly recommend it to you. And I leave you in peace and in solidarity as ever. And thanks very much for watching. Peace everyone, and take care out there.